Marcus Aurelius never intended anyone to read his journal. It was a private conversation with himself, written by candlelight in a military tent, surrounded by war and plague. These weren't lessons for the public. They were rules he used to hold himself together when everything around him was falling apart. And the 10 rules hidden in those pages have guided leaders for 2,000 years. In Book 2 of the Meditations, Marcus writes his morning instruction to himself. At dawn, tell yourself, today I will meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and envious. That sounds bleak. It's not. It's preparation. Marcus wasn't being cynical about human nature. He was refusing to be surprised by it. Because when you walk into your day already expecting difficulty, the difficulty can't ambush you. You've already decided how to respond before the provocation arrives. Marcus started his morning by arming his mind for reality. In Book 5, Marcus has a conversation with himself about not wanting to get out of bed. He writes, "Were you born to feel nice? Or were you born to do something?" This was the Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, arguing with himself about getting up in the morning. And his answer was devastating. You are not here for comfort. You are here to contribute. A fig tree does what fig trees do. A bee does what bees do. A human being does what human beings are designed to do: work, think, create, serve. When you choose pleasure over purpose, you're not living, you're avoiding life. Marcus returns to this theme more than any other. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This wasn't fear, this was clarity. Marcus watched soldiers die every day on the Danube frontier. He saw how quickly life could end, how little warning it gave. And he used that awareness as a filter for every decision. Would I waste this hour on resentment if I knew it was one of my last hours? Would I hold this grudge? Would I delay this conversation? Would I spend another day doing work I don't believe in? Death doesn't make life meaningless. It makes every moment of life count. In Book 7, Marcus writes, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Other people will disappoint you. They'll lie, manipulate, betray, and fail to meet your standards." Marcus's rule was simple. Their faults are their problem. Your response is yours. When you obsess over what someone else did wrong, you hand them control of your mental state. You become a prisoner of their behavior. Marcus refused to do this. He acknowledged the fault, decided whether action was needed, and then returned his focus to the only person he could actually improve, himself. In Book 8, Marcus writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the inner citadel, the place inside you that no one can breach unless you open the gate. Insults only wound you if you accept them. Criticism only destabilizes you if you agree with it. Other people's opinions only matter if you decide they matter." Marcus didn't build walls against the world. He built walls inside his mind. And within those walls, no matter what chaos raged outside, he was untouchable. That fortress is available to you too. You just have to stop leaving the gate wide open. This is perhaps the sharpest line Marcus ever wrote. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. How many hours have you spent reading about self-improvement without actually improving? How many podcasts, articles, and videos have you consumed about discipline without becoming more disciplined? Marcus was calling himself out, and he's calling you out too. Knowledge without action is entertainment. You already know what the right thing is in most situations. You don't need another book. You need to do the thing you've been putting off since you started reading about doing it. In Book 7, Marcus writes, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." This doesn't mean pain isn't real. It means much of what you call suffering is your interpretation of events, not the events themselves. Losing a job isn't painful. Telling yourself you're a failure because you lost the job is painful. The rejection didn't break you. Your story about the rejection did. Marcus practiced rewriting the story. not lying to himself, but stripping away the unnecessary drama and seeing events for what they actually were. Neutral, temporary, survivable, Marcus constantly reminded himself that everything passes, empires rise and fall, famous men are forgotten. The things you cling to today will be dust eventually. This sounds depressing. It's actually freeing, because if everything is temporary, then your current problem is also temporary. The anxiety will pass, the heartbreak will pass, the failure will pass. And so will the success, which means you should enjoy it now instead of hoarding it for later. Marcus wrote the names of emperors who came before him, men who were worshipped as gods, and noted that no one remembers them anymore. Impermanence isn't the enemy. Ignoring impermanence is. Marcus writes in Book 12, confine yourself to the present. The past is a story you tell yourself. It can't be changed. The future is a story you're guessing at. It can't be controlled. The only thing that actually exists is this moment, right now. And yet most people spend their entire lives somewhere else, replaying yesterday's failure, rehearsing tomorrow's worry, missing the only piece of time they actually own. Marcus's rule was to shrink his time horizon to the task directly in front of him, not the campaign, not the decade, this conversation, this decision, this breath. The final rule is the one that ties everything together. Marcus believed that human beings exist to serve each other, not to accumulate, not to dominate, to contribute. He writes in Book 6, what injures the hive injures the bee. You are not separate from the people around you. Your well-being is connected to theirs. When you act only for yourself, you cut yourself off from the thing that gives life meaning. When you act for the common good, even in small ways, even when no one is watching, you align yourself with the purpose you were designed for. Marcus ran an empire, but his private rule was simpler: be useful, every day. To someone, here's your challenge. Go back through those 10 rules and find the one that felt like it was written for you. Not the most impressive one, the one that stung. The one where you thought, that's exactly what I'm doing wrong. Write that rule on a card, a sticky note, or the lock screen of your phone. Put it somewhere you'll see it every morning before the day pulls you in its direction. Keep it there for 7 days, not 30, just 7. And each night ask yourself one question: did I follow this rule today? The answer doesn't have to be yes every time. But the question asked honestly changes something. It puts a crack in the autopilot, and through that crack the light gets in. These rules were never meant for you. They were a private conversation between a man and his own conscience, written in the worst conditions imaginable. And yet they reached you anyway, 2,000 years later, because the truth doesn't expire. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. If this changed how you think about discipline, subscribe for more ancient wisdom that still works today. Drop a comment telling me which rule hit hardest. I read every single one.